So in terms of databases has been concerned, we have SQL databases, which is currently coming under RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. And we have today to support this big data. So to support the data like structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data, we go for a database called as NoSQL database. NoSQL in sense, not only SQL. Not only SQL is the meaning of this NoSQL database. Here in RDBMS, we have this architecture, client server architecture. So under which the data has been stored on server. Okay, the user can access the data from a client machine. So here this is the only architecture supported in RDBMS. Okay, whether it is a Oracle or it may be a MySQL or it may be a SQL server, anything will support this architecture. Here it is a centralized database architecture. The key concept here is it is a centralized database architecture. So centralized database instance, you have database stored only on a single machine. You can't go beyond this machine. So here the limitation we have already discussed in our introductory session itself. The limitation here, if you go for this centralized architecture is, so to what is the maximum supported hard disk capacity of the server, that alone that we can able to store. If you have a data, for example, if the maximum capacity is 4 TB, if you want to store 10 TB of data, that is not possible if you go up with this architecture. For that, what you need to go? You need to go up for another architecture called as you will be running your application here. You will be running your storing your data in a NAS box, a network attached storage or a storage area network. So under which your data need to bring into the server where the application is running. This sort of setup will hold good if the amount of data need to be transferred is within terabytes. Megabytes of data transfer are within terabytes, then it's all good. Being here in terms of big data, we are dealing with terabyte and petabyte of data. So having this architecture and moving the data from the data stored into the server is a time consuming process. Therefore, it is not at all supported if you go up with the concept of big data. So here we are going for with a separate architecture called as for big data. We are going up with separate architecture called a distributed database that you people already aware of. Here all these NoSQL database will follow this distributed database approach. So here there are these are all the major differences. Another major difference here between this RDBMS and this NoSQL database is you already aware this discussion has been already done on the Hive itself. Okay, here it support schema on write. This NoSQL support schema on read. That is, we can have a dynamic schema here. So if you have an employee number and if you enter one, then it will check what type of data type it is integer. Then whether the data that is entered is satisfies this schema. If yes, then it will be permitted. If you try to enter A1, being it is not a integer data type, it will be simply rejected. So at the time of writing the data into the table, it will check whether the schema is correct or not. That is the schema on write. Whereas since this NoSQL is dealing with the data in terms of terabytes and petabytes, if you try to check each and every record at the time of writing, it will be time consuming. So what happens here, it will allow whatever may be the data. At the time of reading the data only, it will look for schema and you can accommodate the schema accordingly. So these are all some of the differences associated with what we call as RDBMS and what we and big data. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about this NoSQL database, various types of this NoSQL database. So in terms of the various types of NoSQL databases has been concerned, all the database has been clustered under the 4 categories. First one, it may be a column family database. Column family database. The second category, it may be a key value database. Any NoSQL database will be coming under the category. Third one, document store database. And fourth category is graphical database. We have hundreds and hundreds of NoSQL database. All these database will be under this category, will be under any one of the following category. Okay. So here column family database. Example for column family database is HBase. Here each and every column will be treated as a same family. For example, here you are having an address. The address containing the address door number, and we have a street name, we have city, okay, we have this state. All the associated records will be treated as a single column. So all the related fields of this address will be treated as a single entity, and it is stored on a separate location. Okay, similarly you have name. For name field, you may have a first name, you may have a middle name, you may have a last name. So all the entire thing will be treated as a separate entity, and it will be stored on a separate location. You can able to insert this particular column family, or you can able to delete the column family. You can able to query the column family separately. So if you go for this record level approach, what we have followed in the SQL, if you want to select only the, for example, you have employee number, you have this name column, you have this address column. If you are looking for selecting only the employee number, and if you are looking for only first name, even though this middle name and last name is not at all needed, it will read all the record, and it will fetch only the first name. Similarly, if you are looking for a city, it will read all the records starting from employee number, name and address, and it filters based upon city only. That is even though if it is not at all needed, those fields will be looked into, and after applying the filter condition only, the needed thing will be selected. If it is a normal SQL, here you can, if you are interested only on city, you can able to insert or delete based on city field without referring this employee number or employee name field. Only the address field alone need to be referred. These are all some of the advantages of going for this column family database. The second type of database is a key value database that you have. Each and everything will be represented in forms of a key and value pair. The example of key value database is Cassandra. Is an example of a key value database. So your Cassandra is more or less similar to your normal Oracle SQL. Then document store database, the database that we are going to discuss here. So here each and everything will be represented in form of a document. So the document will be similar to a JSON document. We call this document as a BSON. So the example for document store database is MongoDB. Okay, each and everything will be treated as a document. The document more or less is in form of JSON format. Format that we are used in MongoDB is called as binary JSON format. And another database is Neo4j. If you are going to make a relationship, for example, in case of your Facebook, in case of your link ID, okay, if your relationship between your friends and you will be listed in forms of a graph manner, okay, in forms of a director acyclic graph. So that is the case. So you have, this is yourself, and if you have any relation with any other people, it will be mapped. If these people is having any other relation, if it will be mapped like this. So here, for depicting these relations or top thing, you need to go for a concept called as a DAC, direct acyclic graph. So for storing data in this format, you need to go for this graphical database like Neo4j. So these are all the various types of NoSQL database. Out of which almost all NoSQL database is coming under open source. You no need to pay for anything. As of your Oracle, as of your SQL server, those are all licensed software. You no need to pay for this NoSQL database. All are open source software. Okay. So now our curriculum is going to deal with this MongoDB. Why so? Because so MongoDB almost whatever, whether it is a finance or it is a banking sector or it is a medical sector. So the everywhere they are making use of this MongoDB only. Okay, we have lot and lot of features associated with the MongoDB. So the MongoDB we can configure this MongoDB as a distributed database. Like we have data stored in our Hadoop HDFS in data nodes. Okay, we have a number of data nodes. Here too we have a separate entity which is used for storing data in a distributed manner. Also here the concept of distributing data across multiple locations, here we call it as a sharing. We call this as MongoDB sharing. Okay, we will have a discussion on this MongoDB in our academic curriculum, so in our curriculum because of its widespread usage. Initially, our course curriculum is listed with HBase. But MongoDB is a more widely used and powerful tool compared to that of HBase. So we focus on more attention towards MongoDB. Okay. So what is MongoDB? MongoDB is a open source software. Which is a open source software. Okay. So it is written using a C++ language. What sort of software? It is a document store software. And it is whether it is a centralized or it is a distributed. So these are all some of the features associated with MongoDB. Open source, written using C++, and you have the document store. Data will be written right in forms of document store, and it is a distributed database. Okay, so here, if you make a comparison between this RDBMS and MongoDB with respect to terminologies, here too you have a database in RDBMS. Under database, you will be having your tables. Under table, you have your data stored in forms of rows and columns. This is the architecture of your RDBMS. Similarly, here too you want to create a database. Under database, you want to create a table. Here the table here in Mongo is called as collections. We call this table as a collections. Under collection, each and every data, the row, we call it as a document. Each and every record. Here we call this entire record as a document. So under document, we have this column. Here the column, here we call this column as a field. And here in case of RDBMS, if we have multiple relations, if you have two relations, okay, so relation 1 and relation 2, example, you have an employee relation, you have a department, you can combine this employee and department using joins. Here too you can make use of a join, but those joins need to be embedded joins. We call those joins as a embedded documents. So these are all some of the anomalies associated between RDBMS and database, Mongo database. You please make a note of all those. So I feel little bit difficult in writing using this new pad. That is the reason why it is not synced with my voice and my writing. Please bear it. Now we are going to discuss about, then apart from that, we need to know one thing. Okay, in terms of Oracle, we have this server. We need to install server, and you want to install a client software. Okay, so MySQL or SQL Plus, both the thing that you can make use of. SQL Plus, you need to configure a database server. Okay, here similarly for Mongo also you have the server database called as MongoD, and you have a user interface called Mongo.exe. So you through this user interface only, you can able to connect with this MongoDB. MongoDB is called MongoDB, which is running on the Mongo server. Please make a note. You want to configure this both MongoDB as well as Mongo here. In each and every document here, each and every record will be represented in form of a document form. A document is nothing but similar to your JSON. So each and every document will have a unique ID here. So for example, here is your employee table. You have employee number, employee name, job and salary field. Employee number 1, employee name Ram, job DBA, salary 9,000. Okay. Now, okay. So, Shivya, am I audible? Please let me know. Yeah, yes. Okay. Here.
Yes, Raman.
Yes, yes. Thank you. This is the way by which you create a table in your RDB. So here the same thing. How you can represent the above said data. So here in Mongo, each and every record, okay, we call this entire thing as a document, one document. Okay, we call entire thing as a document one. Similarly, if you have a second record, we call this as a document two. For example, employee number 2, employee name Raj, job engineer, salary 10,000. We call this as a document two. Each and every row we call it as a document. And the table here, the employee table, we call this table as a collection. Each and every row will have a unique ID. Here, the ID size is 12 bytes. So either you can assign your own ID, or if you doesn't assign anything, by default, the MongoDB itself will assign an ID. It is represented in a hexadecimal format. This 12-byte representation is in hexadecimal format. It contains the following information. It contains the following thing: current timestamp. Okay, what is the time at which the particular document is inserted, and it contains the unique ID for a machine. It may be your Mac ID, the machine ID. Okay, and for representing the Mongo process which is running, we have a process ID, and the remaining thing a random value which is a incremental value, increment one by one. Okay, I will show how it will look like. The current timestamp, the date and time at which the particular row is inserted, then the computer ID where it is, from which it is inserted, the currently running process which is nothing but the Mongo daemon. This is the process that it is running, that process ID, then yeah, 3-byte incremental value. So these are all the combinations of this 12-byte unique ID representation. Each and every record here is uniquely identified by using this 12 bytes representation. Whether you are going for any searching the record, okay, querying the record, or if you want to create the index, everything is based upon this unique ID only. Just make a note. And how this data can be represented. This data can be represented using the following manner. Okay, here you want to enclose each and everything within this curly brace. You want to open this. Okay, first is your ID. This is the ID that we call this ID as a object ID. So when you insert data, automatically the ID will be inserted. You can verify this ID, which is of 12 bytes. Then you want to specify employee number. Employee number, the value being it is 1. It need to be represented as employee number 1. Each and every field need to be separated separately. Employee name, column it is Ram, and then you have this job, this represented as DBA, and finally your salary 9,000. Okay, this is the way by which you can able to, you no need to specify any data type here. Automatically the data type will be assigned. For example, if you have another field, want to add another field, email, okay, you simply type email and type the email ID, tom@gmail.com. Okay, so you no need to worry about that. So whether you are having dot at everything will be assigned a data type according to the value that has been given. This is the way by which a document will look like. For example, if you want to represent array, here too you can represent array. So for representing array, for example, if you have multiple phone number, so here how you can represent this multiple phone. Example, I am having two phone 2320 181. I am having another phone number 94434540002. How to represent this thing? So if you want to represent array, here the array need to be represented using this square brace. This is the way by which you can represent your array. Okay, a square brace. Here you can add this phone number field intermediately. By using this open and close brace. Okay, so once we progress into this, you will have a clear understanding of how a complex document will look like. This is the way by which a document will look like. Okay, please make a note. So the main advantage of going for MongoDB is, so first thing, what if you consider some advantages, what are all the advantages of going for this MongoDB? So it is a open source. First advantage, you no need to pay for anything. Open source. The second, it is a distributed database. You no need to worry about your data load. You can go and add your database. And third advantage is you no need to follow a schema. It is a dynamic schema, or we call it as a schema, which can able to hold any number of fields. So each and every record may differ from other record. Okay. So here, these are all some of the advantages. So and most importantly, you can ensure this data high availability by applying the concept of replication. As that of your free replica, in your Hadoop, we have multiple replication also. High availability by ensuring this replication. And the distributed database, you can distribute, go and add the additional server. We call this as sharding. These are all some technical terms. Here it support a file system called as GridFS, using which you can able to store all multimedia data, audio, video, everything, structure, semi-structure, unstructured, all sort of data that you can store using a file system called as GridFS. So these are all some of the advantages of going for this MongoDB. These are all some of the advantages of going for this MongoDB. It support almost all data types. Okay, it support string, integer, normal data types, boolean. It support array, timestamp. Okay, null value, date, binary. So everything is supported. Okay, we will have a discussion on what are all the things that it will support. So how to install? Let me move on to the installation part of MongoDB. So to install MongoDB, so here let me go up with either Linux based installation or Windows based installation. Both the version is supported. Let me first start with this Windows based installation, and it is a very simple thing. In Linux based installation, you want to do something more. Okay, so here let me please. Before going for this installation, you want to check your underlying machine, whether it is a 64-bit machine or whether it is 32-bit machine. Accordingly, you need to install. Okay, that is the first thing. You want to get the architecture of your machine. How you can get this architecture? So here, if you are if you are not aware of what sort of operating system, what is your hardware, you can check a hardware with a command using in the C drive. Okay, so this is the command that you need to go for. Windows architecture. To get this architecture, we can find OS get architecture. Okay, so the architecture here is 64-bit. Accordingly, you need to download. Okay, so where to go for download? You simply go for a download using Google. Download MongoDB. It will take you to the MongoDB set. For Windows 64-bit, you want to specify this. So you can directly connect to this MongoDB center and you can download the MongoDB here. Okay, so directly from this data center, you can make a connection and you can download the MongoDB. So you want to choose the Windows Server version. So this is the 64-bit version, release 64-bit. It will be downloaded as a MSI file. Once it is downloaded, just you want to double click. Okay, the file that will be downloaded is, so being it is 64, MongoDB for Windows 64. This is the file that you will download. Being it is a MSC file, what you can do, if you double click, automatically it will got installed. This is the way by which you can make use of Windows based installation. So after that, what you need to do, you want to create a directory. Okay, so MongoDB, once it is installed, you need to assume that you install MongoDB under C drive. Okay, you want to create a directory for storing the data files if it is Windows. Therefore, you want to create a directory. So make directory name. Okay, so under that by default the directory MongoDB, the default it is looking for, it will look for a directory by name data and under which it will look for a database. This is the default directory. MongoDB will store the data. Okay, so just create a directory under C drive data and DB. Automatically MongoDB will recognize and it will start storing the data here. Then assume you have configured MongoDB in C drive itself. Okay, once you have configured MongoDB, you will be having a folder by name MongoDB, and then under which you will be having a bin folder. So under the bin folder, you will be having this Mongo executable file. If you simply type Mongo executable, it will take you to the MongoDB command prompt. This is the prompt under which this MongoDB will look like. This is the Mongo prompt. Okay, so this is the way by which you can install your MongoDB. Very simple thing. Install MongoDB in your Windows environment. So being we are working with our Linux environment, the installation of Linux depends. The installation of Linux, it depends upon once again the operating system version. So if we are working with we have so far our installation of Hadoop cluster is on Ubuntu 14.04 as well as on Ubuntu 16.04. You want to follow a separate procedure set of process for Ubuntu 14.04 and for 16.04 you need to follow a separate process. So I will share you the document which let you know what are all the process that you need to follow if it is 14.04 or if it is 16.04. If you follow this, you can install MongoDB. First thing, it is a 4-step process. First step, what you need to do. So first you want to import a GPG key. Okay. So license key need to be imported. Being it is a open source community, you need to download this license key. For installing Mongo, first you want to register, download and register with the license key. So the command is sudo apt-key advanced key server. You are connecting with the key server and you need to download the key. So this key will be downloaded. Okay. The next what you need to do, you want to create a repository. What are all the files that you need to install here? This command will create a repository, connect to a repository, and it will create what are all the list of softwares that you need to install in your machine. That is the second command. Okay, you no need to discuss beyond that. So here, if it is 16 Unix Ubuntu 16, you need to change this. The trustee option will be changed to some other option. I will show what option that you need to go. A command 2 is used to create the list of associated files that you need to install along with MongoDB. And these are all the two things, first two steps that you need to go for. And step 3, you need to make, before installing anything, then you need to make an update. That is the command that we are doing here. Then after that, you are installing this Mongo database. MongoDB origin is the MongoDB master database that you are installing. Okay, these are all the 4 steps that is essential. So this step is optional, which is beyond our discussion. And once the Mongo has been installed, what you need to do, you want to start the service of MongoDB. service name, the service name is MongoDema. You need to start. So it start your database. This command will start your database. And to start the user client interface, this is the command, Mongo. Okay, once you click on this MongoDB start, it will go and it will list you, it got connected. Okay, it will show it got connected, that's all. And then after that, open another cell and simply type Mongo. It will make a connection with this command prompt. The command prompt will be looking like this one. Okay, a MongoDB command prompt. This is the way by which you can type all the Mongo commands in this manner, creating a database, everything. So now I will let you know how to install a MongoDB, and I will show you how to create database, everything in a live. Okay, let me make use of I am already having this machine configured. Okay, so it contains only Ubuntu operating system. Okay, now let me connect to this terminal. Yes. First, what we need to do, you want to install the following. You want to import this the Mongo public key. The command here to just make a difference. So if this general MongoDB origin 3.4 is for Ubuntu 14.04, whereas here in this case you can find in this installation part, you can find it is Ubuntu trustee. In step 2, while creating the list based upon this only, if it is a trustee, then it corresponds to Ubuntu 14.04. So if it is a Ubuntu 16, you want to have this Ubuntu general. This is the major difference associated. If you try to use this repository for Ubuntu 14.04, it won't work. That is the key thing. Now first, let me import a public key. Okay, the key itself, you need to go for a separate key for Ubuntu 16 and separate key for Ubuntu 14. You can't make use of the installation procedure that you are using with Ubuntu 14 with Ubuntu 16 and vice versa. You please be careful with this. Okay. Password for Hadoop. Yes. You need to find the requested key need to be registered. Total number of key imported is 1. The key is RSA key. This is the key that you need to register. If you try to register a key which is not supported, here itself it will throw a error. Error will be thrown here itself. Next, what you need to do, you want to create the list of the repository list. Simply copy. You no need to worry about the command. You need to create a repository list. That's all. Now your repository will be created. Step 3, you want to perform a update. Okay, you want to perform an update. Before going up anything, you will be performing update, and laterly you will be installing this MongoDB database. Okay. Sudo apt-get update. So it is a best practice to go for an update before installing any package in your Linux operating system. Yes, after that you need to install the MongoDB server. So it is sudo apt-get install MongoDB org. So why it is throwing this error? Why so? Because the version that I configured here is not a 16. Here itself it will throw the error. The version that I had configured here is a Ubuntu 16, Ubuntu 14. Okay, version is 14 here, not a version 16. I think so. Okay, so that is the reason why it is throwing this error. So let me create a cloud instance and try to configure here. It took time. Let me create a cloud instance and let me configure here itself. launch instance. We launch Ubuntu 16.04. Review on launch. Let me launch. Let me choose a keypad. We can make use of the same keypad. I think so. What key that we are having here? Let me first make a check. Mala 6 is the key. Launch instance. Okay, let me wait. Okay, let me wait. You can find the version is Ubuntu 14.04 and you can find the code name trustee here. Okay, so if you are working with this, you want to use this trustee. From this code you can able to find it is a trustee version, whereas this Ubuntu 16 is not a trustee. Here we want to have the general, the keyword general. That is the reason why we face error while trying to install here. Okay, you just make a note. This is the command to find the release. LSB release -a is the command. To find the release, you need to go for with this following command. So LSB, it will, the distributor ID, the release, the code name, everything will be listed. So now our machine will be ready. Let me connect with the machine and copy. Go to your putty, paste, SSH, authentication, browse, choose your key, open. Yes, Ubuntu. Now you got connected to this Ubuntu. Now let me apply this. Okay, we have Mongo is not running here. You simply type Mongo, it won't configure anything. So let me apply this command. Set of commands that is associated. First, what you need to do, you want to first get a public key. Copy. Okay, so that the key will be requested, that you will get a key, then you should get this message, imported key. The key that is imported need to be listed here. Then step 2, you want to create a list. You want to create a list. Yes. So what are all the associated softwares that you need to download? It will form a list from this repository based upon this version. Next, you need to make an update. Sudo apt-get update. Once it is updated, now you go up with installing Mongo. The command is either you can make use of apt-get install MongoDB or Mongo org, anything that you can make use of it. Now you can find before that if you try to install, it was resulted in a error. Okay, now it is perfect. Now you got installed MongoDB got installed. Now to start the service name Mongo start. You want to start the service by simply typing service name Mongo start. The service will be started. Now open another terminal. Simply type Mongo. So this is the Mongo shell that you are going to work with. This is your Mongo shell. Okay. This is the way by which you need to create and configure first a key from this GPC license, and followed with you need to create a list of packages that need to be configured, and followed with install and start the Mongo daemon and connect with the daemon. Okay. So you can simply create a database by typing use database. The first command that we are going to discuss is how to create a database. To create a database, you no need to use a separate create statement. Here you can make use of the same statement, use statement itself for creating a database. Please make a note. For creating your database, you no need to go for a separate in your normal other databases. You need to go for the following command: create database name. Here no need to go for, and after that only to connect with use you will having this database name in our normal thing. Here directly if you use database name, a new database will be created, and it got connected to the database. So that is the thing it is showing here. Use data Thiru, it create a database by name Thiru and switch to the database. Okay. Now we are going to list what are all the databases present by simply using DB. So if you issue this DB command, it will list all the databases. Now it shows the database that you got connected is Thiru. Okay. If you want to find out what are all the other databases present, show DBS. Now you find that it can list only two things, one admin and another local, which is here the database that we have created through is not listed here. Okay, so to which database that you connected, you want to type simply DB. What are all the databases present here? You want to use show DBS. So this is the difference between listing out all the database and listing out to which database you connected. So if you create a database, then without any collection, if you don't have any table inside the database won't be listed. So what you need to do to display a database, you want to insert at least one document, at least one table need to be created. How to create a table? You can create a table by using two options. One by using a method called create collection method. A table here is called as collection. In MongoDB, a table is called as collection here. A table is nothing but we call this table as a collection. There are two ways by which you can create a collection. One, you can make use of a command called as database dot the collection name. Let me make employee dot insert. You can insert a record here. While inserting a record under a new collection, okay, using db dot collection name dot insert. If this collection is already present, it will insert the data. If not, it will create a new collection. The second command is you can make use of a command called as create collection command, which is a method. Using this create collection method, you can able to create a collection. Okay. So here the each and every command need to be prefixed with db database dot create collection or database dot table name collection name dot insert, which is used to insert the data. Okay. So also you can insert the data using another method also. So you can make use of another method called insert method. Okay. You can make use of either insert method or while creating the collection, you can use a separate collection, create collection, and after that you can insert the document. Okay. So first, what you need to do, you are going to create a table by using the following command: db dot table name dot. At the time of creating the table, you can insert a document here. That is what that we are going to discuss now. How to create a why we are creating, since we have created a database is not listed until it contains a table. If a database is empty database, if you issue this show database, it won't list. So let me create a table here. The command to create a table is db dot table name employee dot. At the time of creating the table, let me insert a record db dot table name dot insert. Here each and everything need to be given under this as an argument. Okay. So let me open a curly brace. How it need to be represented? So let I represent employee number. Okay. Colon. The value is 1. Then each and every field need to be separated using comma as a separator. Comma. You have employee name. Colon. Okay. So Raman. Let me create first these 2 records. And let me create another record. Okay. So let me create salary colon 9,000. And you want to close this. Now you can find one record is inserted. Now if you type this show dbs, initially you have used this show dbs before creating this employee table, then it is not listed. The database that we have created through is not listed. Here you can find through will be listed. Now you can find the database through being it is listed. This is the way by which your database can be made listed by simply creating a table under which. Okay. Now how you can use another way of creating a table. For that you want to make use of a method called create collection method. By using this create collection method, you can create a table. So first let me create that using this. So to find what are all the tables present, the command is show collections. You can find a table by name through just now that we have created. So to create a new table, you can make use of the following method: db dot to create a method create collection. You want to specify the collection name as a argument. Okay. Let me create a collection by name department. Now you can find one table is created. So show collections will list you both the table, department table and also employee table. So please make a note how to create a collection either by using db.insert. While inserting the document itself, If the collection is not present in this first case, we try to insert a document. So if the table is present, it will insert the document in the table. If the table is not present, a new table will be created under the name and the document will be inserted. Else you can go up with using a separate method called create collection method. And later by using this db.collection_name.insert, you can insert into the collection. Okay, you can make use of db.collection_name department.insert open close brace. You insert the needed value. Open a curly brace. So double quotes department name colon EDP department. Okay, comma department number colon 10. Okay, so comma location, when we make it the city, branch city colon Chennai. Okay, so close this. This is the way the record need to be inserted. Okay, now we have two collections. One we created by name employee, another we created another one by department. So how to display this content? So how to query the record? For querying this record, okay, so you can make use of a command called as find. The command is database dot collection name employee dot find. This is the way by which you can query. So now you can find it will create a object ID. By default, the object ID will be created, which is of 12 bytes in size, hexadecimal representation, through which you can able to uniquely identify this record. We have this employee number 1, employee name Raman, and salary 9,000 has been listed. So you can make use of more refined manner of display, simply typing another additional option called as pretty. So please make a note of this option. So database dot collection name dot find will list you all the collection. If you type this pretty, then it will represent in a more defined manner. Okay. So just look into the difference of the above said without pretty and using pretty. This is the way by which you can create a database by using a use database command, and you can able to create a table either while inserting the document. At the time of creation of a table itself, you can insert a document. Else you create a table and later by using a create collection method, and laterly you can insert by using this insert statement db.tablename.insert, and you can able to query either by using a find or with if you want a structured manner of display, you can make use of find pretty. So this is the way by which you can create a collection. If you want to drop a collection, simply db dot the name of the collection to drop. So let me drop the department dot simply issue this command drop. It will drop the collection. Yes, true. Now if you find the show collections, it won't list you this department. Okay, this is the way by which you can drop a collection. If you want to drop this collection employee db dot employee dot drop. If you type show collections, it will be dropped. If you try to look into that db.employee.find pretty, to shows it won't display anything. So this is the way you can create a collection, and you can insert data into the collection, and you can drop a collection. Okay, and you can query a document. So if you want to drop a database, here simply similar to that of create database, we can make use of db dot that the drop database. You no need to specify the database name. So you just enter DB, it will list you to which database that you connected. Now you connected to Thiru. If you issue this DB dot drop database, automatically the database to which you got connected, DB dot drop database, it will drop the database to which it is connected. Okay. DB dot drop database. Please make a note of this command. Database dropped, through is dropped. If you simply type DB, okay. So if you show this you can find show DBS, it won't list you the database through. So this is the way by which you can create, you can drop everything in your database, in your Mongo. Okay. Let me discuss some additional commands associated with that. So let me again create the same thing for our practice. How to create a database? Simply use the database name. Okay, it will create a database. How to add a table? DB dot employee dot insert. While creating the database itself, you can insert the data. Okay, while creating the table, not database, simply employee number colon 1 comma employee name colon Raman comma you have a job colon or let me make it DPA. Okay, yes, we close this. The table has been created. Let me check DB dot employee dot find. You can find a table which is created, which is now having a separate object ID. Each and every time the object ID will be different. Okay, let me insert another record. DB dot employee dot insert another record. Okay, employee number colon 2 comma employee name colon Harun. We can have a dynamic schema. Okay, it is not mandatory that all the records need to have all the columns. Each and every record may have its own column. Okay, that is called dynamic schema. So we create another thing, db.insert. Let me insert the third record with the employee name. Mala, and then we insert another field. Okay, phone number field. Phone number colon 2320181. It also inserts. Okay, let me first find db dot employee dot find dot prety pretty. Now we can find this first is having three fields: employee number, employee name, job. Second contain two fields, and third contain a separate field which is not present in the first two fields. This is called as dynamic schema. Each and every document can have its own set of fields. It is not mandatory. All the documents here, document refers to a single record. Need to follow the same field as that of your DBS. Please make a note. This is an example of how to create a dynamic schema.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, more than one record insert பண்ண முடியாதா? Single line ல?
Yes, you can
Insert
insert.
method.
You can insert. I will show. You can insert more than one record. No issue. Any number of records can be inserted at a time. Usually, what we will do is we will try to collect the. We will in our example. I will let you know how to import data from HDFS, how to import the data from MongoDB into Hive. These are all the real-time use cases from which you can connect a MongoDB and a Hive and associated big and MongoDB like me. Here too, you can insert multiple records. No issue. I will show you. We are just now
Okay.
starting. That's the reason why we are doing with the initial fundamental points.
Okay.
Okay. Now you are going to make a update. How to make a update? Once the basic has been over, I will go move on into discussion on a little bit complex thing. Now I am going to make a update. So for the employee number 3, I am going to change the phone number. How to make a update for this? The command is db dot table name dot update is the command. db dot table name dot update. So you want to specify both the field. Which field that you are interested in update, that field need to be specified here. Okay. The first field that you are interested here in your update is your phone number field. You specify phone number. Then while specifying this field, what you need to do, you want to specify its old value also. This is the format. Old value 2320181. So for this phone number field, with the following value, what you are going to do, you are going to make an update. Okay. So the update, what you need to go up with a command called as set. This is the way by which you can make an update. Set, you are going to update this particular field. The same thing, what field that you are going to update? The phone number field, PNO, colon. What you are going to do with this update? So here you want to specify the new value. Okay, let me make 94434540002 is my new value. This is the way by which you need to make an update. This is the field, phone number, and the old value that you want to specify, and followed with what you need to do. The set command is similar to a update command. The equivalent command here is here update employee set phone number is equal to 94434540002, where phone number is equal to the old value 2320181. This is the equivalent command of your SQL. Please make a note. db.employee.update, the field and the associated value you are interested in update, and follow with the new value that you are going to set. Okay, just make a note of this. If you committed any error here itself, it will throw it. So you need to close this. Close. So you can find if it is a error, if without properly closed, blue color will be intimated. Okay, yes, now okay. Now you have two things. Yes, you can find a modify. Find pretty. Now you can find this phone number field. Initially, it was from 23210 has modified to. This is the way by which you can do a modification. Yes. So you have created, inserted, updated, you have deleted. So let me check. So how to make a projection? So that is the field that you are interested. How to retrieve the field that you are interested. Here you have employee number, employee name and job. Employee number, employee name and phone number. I am interested only on employee number and employee name only, or employee name only. What I need to do? The command is db dot employee dot find. Okay, what I am going to find. So here I want to specify what I am interested. Open brace. I need to specify that title. Okay, so I am interested only on employee name. Okay, so let me make employee name alone that I am interested. So which field that I am interested? For that field, I want to specify the value 1. So which field that I am not interested? For that, I need to specify a value 0. Here in this case, I am interested only on the employee name. Okay. So here, before that, what we need to do, the find will take two options. Okay. So find will take two options. First option, you want to specify the entire, all the open brace and close brace, which specifies you first look into all the fields. From the field, you go up with this employee name alone. That is the syntax. db.employee.find, open a brace, and curly brace will list you all the fields and comma to which field that you are interested. That field alone need to be specified. Now you can find the two things. Employee name alone is listed. Employee name of all the records. Now you have, by default, your object ID will be listed. If you don't want your object ID to be listed, what you need to do? Here you want to specify 0 for this object ID. Okay. Here this option db.employee.find name list all the field associated with the employee name. What are all the documents containing employee name will be listed. It also lists this unique ID. If you want to exclude this ID, the option that you need to give along with this option is employee name 1 will be listed and ID colon 0, then ID won't be listed. So if you are looking for some other fields, here we replace with the employee number 1. If you are looking for only the phone number alone will be listed. If you are looking for both the things, employee number and phone number, what you need to do? Here you want to specify two things, that's all. You want to specify first employee name, okay, in this sense value is 1, comma, phone number. Now you can find all the employee name listed and only the employee with phone number alone will be listed. So this is the way by which according to your requirement you can go with applying a condition based upon you can retrieve the information. So if you have hundreds of records, okay, in this case you have 3 records. If you want to list only the first record, what you need to do? So if you are interested in listing the first record alone, you can issue a command called as limit. You need to give the argument how many records that you need to list. Simply limit 1 will list you only first record. If you want 2 records to be listed, you simply type the number of records to be 2. The first 2 records will be listed. So limit is an option. When it is added with find, will list you only the top n number of records that you have given into the argument. So just look into the difference. You are instructing to list 2 records, but you are instructing to skip the first record. Okay, now you can find in this opposite limit to is listing employee name Raman and employee name Arun. If you issue this skip command, it will skip the first record and it will list the second record and the third record. So if you want to skip a number of records, you need to specify the number here. Yes, so if you want to make a sorting, yes, that is also possible. How to sort the record? If you are looking by default, it make a ascending sorting. Okay, so the sorting by default is ascending. This is the way by which you can make a sorting of this record. Okay, use this option sort. Then you want to specify the sort field. Which field that you want to make a sort? Okay, that you make the field as employee number field. The sorting field can be considered as employee number field. Employee number colon, it will make a sorting here. Based upon this employee number, it is started. If you want to make a sort based upon employee name, simply type here employee name. You can find it is a reverse sorting. Raman, Mala, Arun. Okay, it is a reverse sorting. If you want to make it override of sorting, so you simply -1 will result in a reverse sorting. Just make a note. You can find +1 is resulted in a ascending order. Arun, Mala, Raman. A -1 of the sorting will result in a descending order. Please make it. So these are all some of the basic commands associated. So let me discuss about this advanced method of how to go for application sharding, how to create a backup, how to make use of these additional things like advanced inserting multiple documents. Okay, how to make use of graphical user interface like MongoDB. We will discuss all those things tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be having our session on morning. Our session tomorrow will be from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Okay, tomorrow morning you will be having our session. We will discuss about the advanced concepts of MongoDB. In the forthcoming weeks, let me have discussion on this Apache Uzi. Along with that, let me discuss. I think so. We have already discussed about MapReduce. Yes or no? If not, we can start MapReduce on the coming week. Ma'am, anyone can let you know whether we have started the MapReduce for this batch? Then Lakshmi ma'am.
Yes, sir. introduction
Now we yet to start the discussion on how to write a map, how to write a reduce function. Yes. Yes.
இல்ல
How
சார்
to?
எனக்கு அவ்வளவு clear ஆ
Yeah.
தெரியல
We have discussed about. Have you have
நீங்க
discussed?
சொல்லுங்க